Hello YouTube and welcome back to Dare to Game, and today we're going to be playing Medieval Dynasty and we're going to be doing how to show you how to build your first section of buildings. And this is assuming you start off the game and go through the tutorial and immediately start building a settlement. And the spot we picked, due to popular demand, is at the unstuck point, so the spot you can teleport back to. So the first thing you have to do there is build a house, and then after that, depending on which house you build, you should have unlocked other buildings, and when you complete the first quest, you should be able to build more buildings. So that's where we're going to be building it, but the first thing you're going to want to do before you go there is, no matter what level of house you build, because there's houses you can build with just rocks and wood, and all that sort of stuff, so you may not need straw. But the other entry-level buildings are all roofed with straw. So you're going to want to make sure the first thing you do before you go up there, because then you shouldn't have to come down here again until you're done building, is to grab yourself plenty of reeds. So before we go up there, we're going to do that. Alright, that's probably more than enough. Just pop in here and check our inventory. 124, yeah, that should probably last us. Now I believe we have enough straw that we're not going to need to worry about it. So, since we don't want to be doing this video in the night, we're going to sleep until morning. But when we do pick it up, we're going to pick it up at the unstuck point. So we'll see you then. Alright, now that we've finished our house, which is the first thing, and we've we've unlocked the resource storage while we were building it, and that's one of the advantages of building this, the higher level houses, you obviously get more XP. So we're going to try building the resource storage. One of the advantages of having the house built now is that we can use the storage in there to store what we've already gathered. So we're going to go ahead, we'll keep the logs because we need those to build the frame, but we'll store the straw until we need it. So let's get started and build ourselves a resource storage. The important thing to remember about resource storage is you need a large flat area. So we're probably going to build it over here because this is, I think, the flattest area around here. So we're going to cut trees out of here to get it ready. Alright, so we now have our level 1 resource storage all crafted up. Ooh, there's a log stuck up there. And the reason I like to go straight from the house to the resource storage, which is also why I like to do it at the level 3 so you have enough XP to unlock it, is because the resource storage is so important for building. You can store... I don't know if there's a limit. There must be, because most chests in the game have a limit, but I've never hit the limit with the resource storage. Whereas all the rest of these buildings, their storage is really low. You cannot really store much at all in them. So the beauty is, once you've got that built, you can keep building, which is what I plan to do here, or you can just go around, gather up as much resources as you think is necessary, which is going to help you level up your extraction and your survival and all sorts of stuff, which is great. And then you can just keep storing it in there, so that way when you're ready to build, you just have a ton of resources ready to go. Especially things like sticks and rocks and stuff like that takes longer to gather as opposed to trees, which you cut down. Logs, however, are some of the most heavy things that you can gather in the game. I mean, rocks and iron and stuff like that are very heavy, but logs are very, very heavy, so they're something that takes a lot to carry. But see, we can just store everything in here. We've got all that stuff readily available when we're ready to build. Like I said, there's a few buildings like the resource storage, the barn, and the tavern are very large, so you got to make sure that if you have large flat spaces like this here, or maybe down here, you got to save them, because especially if you're planning on building up here, which, like I said, it has its drawbacks, but it's super convenient to be able to teleport to it. And I don't know if they will, but I really hope they do leave the unstuck point so you can always teleport back to here, because it's definitely you do get stuck a decent amount in this game, so I don't think they should ever remove it. And B, even though it does remove a little bit of the realism, it is nice to be able to fast travel back to your main point. Alright, so I ran around and gathered up some resources because I didn't want to keep showing that on camera because it's very long and boring. So I ran around, gathered a bunch of rocks, sticks, cut down some trees, basically just in the general area, but basically just to build up a small tree supply. And the next thing we're going to do is build a second house. Now, the reasons you want to do this after this storage are, A, by this point, if this is all you've done, you probably don't have anything that you can build other than the storage and the house. So you need to build, if you want to keep building, you're going to need to do a house or another storage, which wouldn't make any sense. And B, you need that other house if you want to start attracting villagers. So we're going to build another house. It's going to be another simple small house. We're going to build it right here, because that way we've got that nice, start seeing where the sort of residential area is going to be. And we're going to get building on it. And what we're going to do, as you saw before, is we're going to edit these. So you're going to want door, and we're going to go with stone again, because we're just going to go full bore out the whole way. That way we're maximizing our XP, so we're leveling up as fast as possible. And B, that way when people move in, they've got nice houses to move into, which is going to help with that dynasty reputation. So let's just haul through it and pick it up when we're done with the house. Alright, so we finished our second house, or our guest house, or whatever you want to call it, and during that time we were able to level up, and we unlocked the technology for a woodshed. And I actually do like, especially if you're building out in the woods like this, I do like starting with a woodshed in my first 4 buildings, because at the first level of Dynasty reputation, you can only have 4 buildings. So starting out with houses, a storage, which you need the resource storage before you do any resource gathering buildings, because this is what collects all of the resources. Otherwise, you can't have the other buildings, / if you have them, you can't assign anyone to them and expect to get resources. Once you have the storage and you have resource gathering buildings and you can convince someone to come to your place, you can assign them to them and they will do stuff for you. Since cutting trees is actually one of my least favorite things in the game, we are going to start by doing that as our first resource thing. And you're going to want to keep that close to the other woods. So basically, if you're building here, you're going to want to build it further over here or further over there, because you don't want all the trees to be gone where the guy is working. So we are going to build it, I think, over here. We're going to try building it up in here. So let's just build ourselves a wood storage. Alright, so we finished our woodshed, and funny enough, we actually got stuck in it, but considering our convenient location that we picked, we were able to get unstuck. So there's our woodshed, and as you can see, it's getting dark, so we're going to sleep and start again tomorrow. So, given that we're nice and early in the game, and we've now hit our building limit for buildings. There's only a few more things we can build, but I do want to build them right away. So one of the things is going to be over here, and it's going to be in furniture, and we're going to want a wash tub right away. So we got to find a relatively level spot. Ooh, none of these are very level. That's a good enough spot. So we want a wash tub because, as you can see, we got dirty, so now we're going to want to take a bath. And this is important because you never want to be dirty when you're trying to woo people, and that's whether it's just their general opinion or a romantic thing, and that's going to be very important in the game. So we've got a wash tub. And now the other thing that we can get started on right away is going to be fields. And while I know people like to use flatlands for fields, which I also like too, we don't want to waste flatlands here. So we're going to build one behind our house here. So we're going to go into here, building, farming, fields. And since we built our thing nice and square with the road, we can actually, we're going to do it one back in there. And this will actually clear all these stumps too back here. I want to build it one more, so I got to cut down this tree. I want it to be a nice big field for starting off because we're going to need to start leveling up agriculture. So now we need a hoe, so we're going to quick make that. And then once we have that, we'll be able to quick hoe all of our fields. Hey, look at that. Alright, and with our field complete, we are now completed making our basic starter village. As you can see, or you may have been able to see while we were doing that, we unlocked food storage, which is going to be the very next thing you want to build as soon as you unlock more buildings. And basically to do that, you just do the next 2 missions, I think. So survivalist, basically you hunt some stuff, and then the one after that, and you'll have enough dynasty reputation to build up to 8 buildings. And we'll explore that in the next upgrade, so that'll be an intermediate village. But yeah, now you're ready. Once you're at this level, you're ready to start making some money, so you can get some seeds planted in the ground quick before the season changes. And for the spring, you've got a large variety of things. I personally like flax, because then you can use it to make sewing stuff, but there's all sorts of things you can plant. And you're going to want to plant one of those, get it in the ground quick, so that way you can harvest it right away in August. Or in the summer, I should say. I don't know why I said a specific month. And start your little dynasty. And all the while going into town and building up your reputation with people. Get yourself a villager, because now you have a house for him to stay in, or him or her, and a job for him or her to do, which is going to be gathering your wood. So you are now all built up with your beginner village and ready to start building a dynasty. Hope this video was useful. I hope it was at least entertaining to watch. I personally really enjoy watching videos with the sped up building like that. I think it's just fun to watch. If you've got any suggestions, questions, concerns, anything you'd like to see, why don't you go ahead and let me know down in the comments section. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this video, but we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you like this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.